So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Reach for the Stars learning series. This is a series that I started because I said, there have been so many people who've been reaching out to me, and telling me, asking me various kinds of questions. Okay, so with my experience, over the last 23 plus years of managing people, being in HR, being a behavioral coach, I said I must answer, whatever, little questions and share my knowledge to the best of my ability that I can. And so these sessions are complimentary, and I'm also inviting people to be part of my tribe, which is called Nakshatra, because I call this Reach for the Stars, right? So I believe that each one of us is a star, and each one of us has abundant light, and abundant potential, within each one of us. So it is an invitation to all of you to be a part of the tribe. So you will automatically start receiving, these complimentary webinar links. Yeah. And you can be a part of the learning too. So learn, grow, and reach for the stars, as I say. Okay. So the topics are chosen, by people. They give me the topics over Facebook, some of them who know me very well, WhatsApp me. So I kind of take votes and then choose the topic. So one of the last week I did a topic on emotional resilience, and this week the topic for this week is networking skills. Okay, so let's begin. So with networking, so why do you think networking is really important? So this is a participative session, so please feel free to talk, answer, share your questions and all of that. So why do you think networking has become important, or why do you think participants or people want to understand networking? What do you think?
Maybe to have connections for business development.
Yeah, absolutely. Connections for business development. Yeah, that's very important, because with the pandemic going on, I think everyone is looking out, to see how they can really, look at meeting people, growing their connections, whether it is for their career or whether it is to grow their business or just to hone their leadership skills, right? To also, it's also important to network, because until you go meet people, talk to people, how will you really develop yourself as a person? So all of these reasons, very, very important. So people do want to learn about this. And let me share, my experience. So I'm going to share a little PPT with all of you here that I prepared. Please let me know when you can see the slide.
We can, Rinku.
Okay. That's wonderful. Okay. Okay. So what do you think is networking? Like I said, so networking really is a socio-economic business activity. Why socio-economic? Because like I said, one is the economic angle, that you want to meet people, meet influential people, grow your connections, build relationships, all of that. But it's also a social activity. Don't you think so? Yeah, it is a social activity because
Yes.
it helps you build your social skills too. It helps you communicate better. It helps you reach out to people. Yeah, it helps you become stronger, when you meet people. Helps you lose the fear. Okay, like some people, really get tongue tied, right? When they are in a large group, or when they have to, meet a lot of influential people. So it helps you hone
Correct.
all those skills. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, it could be to form business relationships. Maybe it could be, to share information. You might be seeking potential partners. I said here for ventures, but networking also helps with seeking partners for life, isn't it? So that's
Yeah.
important too. Yeah. If you don't network, if you're not out there, how do you know, who's the right person for you? So yeah, so networking really is a socio-economic activity. Okay, but typically, what happens, when we go and network. So let's say we go to a career fair, or, let's say we go to a conference, a seminar, where there are a lot of people around. So what happens, when you go? How do you behave? What happens when you show up? Are you the kind of person who dives straight into the crowd and starts mingling? Or what do you do? Do you start saying hello, or what do you do? Do you gently work your way in slowly, look at the crowd, see what kind of people are there? You're really terrified to see a lot of people there, and especially if it's work related, you would find people formally dressed, and so you're looking at them and saying, okay, do I really want to talk to these people? Yeah. And then maybe you slowly find the guts to walk in and say hello to somebody. Yeah. Or do you just quietly stay in a corner, okay, and break out into a cold sweat and think, oh my god, am I looking right? Can I say hello? What do I say? How do I start? So there are all these reactions, right? So different people, different reactions to networking. Yeah. So what do you think? Is networking really that important? What do you think? Some people would come back to me and say, oh, why should I even bother to be there? Yeah. Is that the right kind of reaction, or what do you think? Do you think it's important to overcome that fear of networking?
I think it is
Yeah.
very important to overcome, Rinku.
Yeah, it
We
is, isn't
we
it?
need
Because
to socialize. Apart from all the socio-economic reasons as well, I think that's what makes us human is to be together as a crowd.
absolutely, absolutely. If you don't
Yeah.
connect with human beings, then how do you ever live? So no man is an island, right? We really need to build those connections, talk to people, and figure out, yeah, whatever it is,
And more and at that, Rinko, more important, we are trying to exchange ideas. Networking doesn't mean just to say hello, hi. Like, it's a platform where you can exchange your ideas, what you want to do for the world, either it's social or economical.
yes,
Most importantly, how you exchange idea, how you can bring like
Correct.
make a better future.
absolutely, absolutely. Well said, Richa. That's very true, actually.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
But
you.
why do you think it's pure networking then? So we know that networking is important. We know it helps us build relationships. It helps us build us, as stronger people. All of that. But it is still a terrifying, disabling prospect, don't you think, for many people? Yeah. Why? Because
Yeah, it
it
is.
could be, yeah, because it could be that they are introspective. They may not really be shy people. Sometimes, yeah, people are shy, but not all of them are shy. Sometimes people are introspective. They keep thinking too much about themselves. Am I doing this right? Am I looking right? Am I saying things right? Whatever. Or maybe they've had a bad experience in the past. Yeah, they did try networking, and they met somebody who was not right, or some bad experience. So maybe people shy away from networking then. And so once bitten, twice shy kind of a thing. Yeah. So these could be all the reasons why we fear networking. How do we overcome it? What do we do to overcome the fear of networking? So, first of all, I think it's important for us to be prepared with an introduction of what you do and how it benefits others. Okay. So I call this, a star introduction. Okay. So think of yourselves as the stars in your life. Okay. So think of your life, like a movie, and you are the stars in your own movie, isn't it? There's not going to be any other star. So you are the actor, the actress. You are the main, the main protagonist, whatever. You are the star. You are the celebrity of your life. So make a star introduction for yourself. So when I introduce myself, okay, so this is my star introduction. So when I go to meet people, and maybe then you can make up your own star introduction. So I say, hi, my name is Rinku, and I help people discover their mojo. Okay, and then people ask me the very next thing, so how do you do that? Okay, so the very next thing they ask me is, how do you do that? Okay, and then then I start telling them, I help them discover their natural behavioral strengths and unravel their potential. I do this with the help of behavioral assessments, with the help of coaching. So all of these things. So you see, the star introduction really has to be something which is going to elicit the question, how do you do that? Yeah. So like I said, so my star introduction would be, hi, I'm Rinku, and I help people discover their mojo. I help individuals, teams, and organizations discover their mojo. Okay, so that's what I tell them. Yeah. Okay, so be prepared with a star introduction of yourself. So that's very important. Then if you're going to a seminar or whatever, look up the speaker profile, look up the attendees, see who you really want to meet, because that's important. You really can't go and leave it to chance. So look up the people and see who you really want to go say hello to. Yeah. And then make the effort to walk up to them. And of course, all the rest are important. So wear clothes and shoes that are very comfortable. Don't try to match the trends. Don't try to get into the latest fashion. Wear what you're comfortable with, because clothes and shoes, very very important. You should feel comfortable, and you should feel the joy in whatever you're wearing. So that's important. Be early. Again, something that goes without saying. Be early, because if you're late, then you're anyway tense, right? So it's important to be yourself. And then, very, very important, set goals for yourself. What do you want to achieve, out of that meeting, out of that networking meet? What do you want to achieve? Is it just to get to know somebody? Is it to have a good time? Or are you seeking a business collaboration? Are you seeking a job? What is it? So have the goal and be prepared with the goal. And most importantly, smile and be yourself, because the smile is your most important accessory. So when you smile, you see all human beings look beautiful when they smile. Okay, so smile is really, really important. Okay, now I have something in blue there, right? I said, get into the person's shoes and match the behavioral style. How do you do that? So if you look at it, we as human beings, we are all very different, but we are predictably different. Okay, let me repeat that. I said we are all very different, but we are predictably different. So how are we predictably different? And that is something that I will, share with you, shortly now. So the first question to ask yourself is, who are you? Who are you as a person? Yeah. So we looked at all the different ways people approach networking and all the different fears which they encounter, right? So some are shy, some are very confident, they dive in straight away and start saying hello. Some don't even talk to anybody, they just stand in a corner of the hall. So who are you as a person? Okay, who are you? Look at this, So what is your self-image? So can you see this picture? What do you see in the picture? What do you see in the picture?
He's they're trying the kitten or whatever trying to aim big when it comes to
Yes,
dream, like you're a lion, you can do better, think
absolutely.
bigger.
Absolutely, absolutely, Richa. So if you look at that, it's a little kitten, but when it looks at itself in the mirror, it looks at itself like it belongs to the lion family, isn't it? The lion is a
Yeah.
cat too, yeah. But the kitten says, "Wow, the lion is my cousin or whatever it is." Yeah, so that's the way it looks at itself, and says, "I am a lion too. I have the strength of a lion, the courage of a lion. Yeah, and I can be a leader, just like the lion is the king of the jungle." So, is this your self image? What do you think of yourself every time you look at the mirror? Yeah? Every time you look at the mirror, how do you look at yourself? So, this is the first question to ask yourself. Now, how do you think your personalities are formed? Okay, your self image depends on the workings of your mind. This is so we call the mind is like an iceberg. Yeah, so I'm sure that most of us have watched the Titanic, and you've looked at it, right? You've seen how a glacier sinks the huge and mighty Titanic. Yeah, so in psychology we also call this the iceberg theory. So if you look at it, the glaciers have the biggest chunk of the glacier, or 90% of the glacier is below water. Okay, and what you see on the top of the water or above water level is only 10%. Okay, so who you appear to be, how you behave externally, is only 10% of your potential or who you are as a person. There's 90% of who you are still waiting to be unraveled, still waiting to be discovered. Okay, and still waiting to be unleashed. Yeah. Now, what is the 10%? So we say that this is our conscious mind, and what we can look at it. And 90% is what's happening in our subconscious. So most of the times we are on autopilot in our lives. If you've noticed, every day, we wake up at a certain time, automatically, maybe, some of us would like to have our tea, immediately, without brushing. Some of us would like to go and take a bath and only then have a tea. So we are on autopilot, throughout the day. Everything which happens, we are just working, based on what is being fed into our subconscious. Okay, so there are a lot of things which are on autopilot. We have our beliefs, we have our values, we have our habits, a lot of things. There are a lot of emotions which lie in our subconscious. Okay, now everyone pay attention to the screen here now. Can you read the word there? Can all of you say it together? What is the word on the screen?
Silk.
Silk.
Silk. Yeah. What do cows drink?
Milk.
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 Let me repeat the question. What do cows drink?
Water.
Oh.
Water.
Water.
Oh, God. Yes, I caught all of you, isn't it?
This is so embarrassing.
Yeah, so this was just to prove to you
Rink,
that your subconscious is working on autopilot.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Rinku, am I audible, Rinku?
Yes, you are. You are.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Hi. Still, I was just struggling with the mic from such a long time. Yeah.
Acha. Oh, hi,
Tell you.
Sunita.
Mhm.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you. Hmm. Tell.
So yeah, so this is what happens in our life, isn't it? Yeah, we are
Hmm.
we're just working on autopilot every time. Yeah, so the moment you looked at the word silk, and then I asked you what do cows drink, you associated cow with milk, isn't it?
Mi-
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the association in your subconscious. So it doesn't matter what the question is, your subconscious just works on autopilot. Okay, and that's the answer you gave me, milk. Okay, why do you think this happens? See, because our attitudes, our personalities are formed out of three components. Okay, I'm going to put this very, very simply here. Okay, look at this. So the first thing is a thought, which converts into a belief. Okay,
Mm.
now when you're young, when you're small, okay, if there was a snake which had to come near you, what do you think your mother would do? While you're
Just try to protect.
your mother would be terrified, isn't it? She would start, she would
Yeah.
come and pick up
Yes.
the baby and say, oh my God, it's a snake. Yeah. Okay. Because
Mm.
Hmm.
we believe that snakes are poisonous. Yeah. Now the thought is fed into your mind. Okay. You have seen your mother reacting. Yeah. That snakes are poisonous. What has she done now? She has picked you up. Possibly she has started screaming, or picked you up and run away, or then they've tried to, beat up the snake, whatever it is. So that is what is in your subconscious now. So even as you grow up, even as you get educated, even as you go to school, even as you go to college, do you know that there are non-poisonous snakes now?
Mm.
Do you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. There,
Yes.
there are
Yes,
snakes.
there are.
There are a lot of non-poisonous snakes. In fact, my home is right next to a farm, and these snakes keep walking in and out of my house. Believe me, they have not harmed us at all. Okay, because they are harmless snakes which are just there. They kind of eat the rats or whatever it is, but they don't. They are not poisonous. Even if they bite you, a human being will not die. Okay, but so even with all the education, if a snake had to walk in today, we still believe that snakes are poisonous. Okay, what would be the emotion? We would still be scared and terrified of it. And
Scared.
what would be our
Scared.
behavior? We would run away when we see a snake, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is
Mm.
what has been fed into us. Okay, so this is the association. So every thought converts into a belief. When you attach an emotion, like fear, guilt, happiness, whatever, whatever emotions. Okay, you please look at my emotional resilience video, the last week's video. So I've spoken about the 8 main emotions in that. So the 8 main emotions: joy, anger, guilt, sadness, whatever, fear. Okay, you start associating an emotion with the thought and belief. And when you do that, when you associate an emotion, it translates into your behavior or action. And without you even knowing, that is the way you would behave on autopilot every single time. Okay, unless you become self-aware and conscious of how you're behaving. Okay, and that you consciously try to change how you behave. So the same kind of fears will manifest even when you're networking. So whatever has been told to you during childhood, you must have observed people around you. How do they network? Okay, are they social people around you? How do they speak to people? What are they saying? What are their beliefs? What are your parents' beliefs, your teachers' beliefs, your friends' beliefs? What are their beliefs about people? Are they telling you that people can't be trusted? Are they telling you, take it slow? What are they telling you? Or are they telling you, no, everyone's good out there, just go out there and, mingle. So whatever they're telling you, that's the thought which has, sunk into your subconscious, and that is what has made your networking style, okay, or your behavioring style. Okay, now let's look at this. So think about this now. Are you the reserved kind of person, or are you an active, outgoing person? So where do you see yourself? You don't need to answer this, but this is a little evaluation for you to do, okay, on your own. So think about where you stand. Are you the reserved person, or are you the active, outgoing person? Okay, so everyone figured out where you are?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, look at this now. Okay, so if you are active and outgoing, if you decided that you're the active outgoing person, okay, what do you do most of the time? What do you do most of the time? Do you tend to tell others what to do? Okay, at home, at work, everywhere around you. Okay, are you the person telling others what to do? Or are you the person who's listening to others and relating to others and saying, okay, I understand this, So you're trying to understand, where they stand, or trying to perceive, how they feel and things like that. So where are you here? Are you trying to most of the time tell others, or are you trying to relate to others? So figure out this too, where you are. Okay. Now, those of you who thought you were reserved, okay. Now again, figure out whether you tend to judge others most of the time. The moment you see them, do you kind of look at them and say, oh, I like this person, okay, I don't like this person, immediately, So some people make judgments immediately. You don't know why, but you just make a judgment. Yeah, you either like, or you dislike somebody, or you're looking at, okay, let me see more, let me try to dig more facts, whatever it is. Yeah, so where are you? Are you judging others, okay, or are you accepting non-accepting others?
But Rinku, I have a question here. If you
Yeah.
don't mind, can I ask?
Yes, please
Yeah.
ask. Yeah.
Rinku, when you said judge others, but don't you think whenever we meet a person who is new, like we're just acquainted, we often tend to create an impression.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is, I don't know whether you call that judging or not. When it comes to accept or non-accept, don't you think we do that only when you understand the behavior patterns, when you spend time with them, then you'll understand whether you accept him, that person, his or like him or her as a friend.
Okay. So Richa, you know why you're saying this? You're saying this
Yeah,
because of who you are.
maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So for everyone, okay, I hope everyone got Richa's question. Okay. So Richa is saying, we always, form a first impression of people, when we see them, and then whether to accept or not accept them comes much later. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but Richa, I want to say to you that what you said just now is because of who you are as a person. It is not the same with all people in the world.
Maybe. So that's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same. It doesn't matter. Does everyone know Sudha Murthy, the wife of
Yeah.
Narayan Murthy? Yeah. Narayan
Yeah.
Murthy is the founder
Yes.
of Infosys. I was an ex-Infosys employee, so I'm pretty influenced, by that family and by them. So I tend to give their
Okay.
examples. Yeah, and met Sudha Murthy multiple times. So have you seen her? Do you know how she looks?
No, I haven't seen her.
You haven't seen her? Okay.
No.
So go
I've
back
seen a
and
video of her.
okay. So go back and please, Google Sudha Murthy, and you will know what I
Okay.
mean. Okay. Everyone knows that they are multi-millionaires and they have enough money and all of that. But one look at Sudha Murthy and you will think that she is just a homemaker. Okay, that is her first impression. In fact, I must share this story, because Richa shared this. Sudha shared this herself. Sudha said, she was on her way, to a big conference, where, she was, okay, let me not share the last bit of it. So she was on her way to a conference, and, in the airport, she meets somebody, and then, we are all waiting at the airport gate, right, to board the aeroplane. And there was somebody who was, very well dressed and, in Western clothes with a coat and, with the high heel shoes and carrying branded bags and all of that. And the lady, looked at her, and the flight was delayed. So she said, okay, is the flight, what's happening and where's the flight? And Sudha said, the flight is delayed. So she looked at her and, with contempt. And she said, oh, is it so? Okay, thank you, kind of, just uh, shrugged her shoulders and didn't want to have, any much of a chit chat with her. So Sudha just turns away. And fortunately or unfortunately for that lady, Sudha happened to be the person sitting in the seat next to her, on the plane. Okay. And the lady then started talking about herself and saying, I'm a woman entrepreneur and I do this and I run all this business. I make this many crores and, all of that. And Sudha just smiled and said, very good. That sounds wonderful. And when they reached the conference, okay, it was so funny that, she found that as they walked in to the conference hall, Sudha was the keynote speaker in that conference. Okay, the lady had ignored her all along. She had the opportunity of sitting right next to her on an airplane. Okay, Okay, and then she figures out that she's the keynote speaker in the conference, and this is Sudha Murthy. Okay, so after that, she was so ashamed of her behavior, and she came up to her and said, "I'm really sorry. I just thought that you were a housewife, okay, because of the way you look, okay, and because of course, Sudha doesn't dress posh, doesn't wear branded clothes, doesn't care about her first impressions at all, Richa. Okay,
Yeah.
so first impressions are important and good, but first impressions are not all. Okay, so I would say
Got
that
it.
I
Rinku, I
think,
had a question.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, complete yourself.
No, no, no. So first impressions are important, but first impressions are not all. Okay, is what I want to say,
Yeah.
because first impressions can be deceiving. Okay, you can deceive anybody by the way you dress, by the way you carry branded clothes. It's very easy to deceive somebody. Okay, but what is going to hold good in the long run is who you are as a person. Okay, who is the real you? We have the real me phone, right? So just like that, the real you is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your question? Yeah.
Rinku, I had a question in the previous slide. You
Huh.
had mentioned about being reserved or being outgoing.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, so yes, prior to this, so I'm not able to place myself over here because if I see myself, I'm quite reserved with
Hmm.
a crowd. But when it comes to being outgoing with my very close friends or very family, I'm extremely outgoing. Like I
Correct.
would love going out. I would prefer not to stay at home only, and I would always prefer staying out of the home. But when it comes to speaking to people or making friends or making any kind of connections, I'm quite reserved. I don't open up quite fast, so I'm not able to place myself. Okay, where would I fall in this graph? Would I call myself reserved, outgoing, or I was little confused on this?
Okay. So, Sunita, you know what you need to do? You need to get an assessment with me. Okay. Because
Hmm.
it's not something which of course I know you and I can tell you, but we will talk
Hmm.
after this networking meet and I'm going to help you through that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Not an issue.
So let's do this. Let's move on.
Hmm.
Okay, so where do you fall now? So I said, let's decide whether you're active, outgoing, okay, or reserved. Okay, and if you're telling others, relating to others, judging others, or accepting, non-accepting others. So this is the four quadrants that fall in. Now, this is as per psychology, and this is called the DISC theory. Okay, DISC. Each of it stands for a term. And people, it is said that their behavior is predictable, and you would fall into one of these slots. Okay, so when I say one of these slots, one of the four quadrants here, that is going to be your dominant personality trait, or that's the way you're going to behave all the time. So you're either going to be a D, you're either going to be an I, you're either going to be an S, or either going to be a C most of the times. Please look at this. It says most of the times. So Sunita, your question of I'm sometimes like this, sometimes like that is because sometimes,
Yeah.
as human beings, we are a mixture of traits. We are a mixture of these four
Hmm.
traits. Okay, now you
Okay.
cannot be
Hmm.
you cannot be all four. It's impossible. It doesn't happen to any human being. Every one of us has one of this trait. Okay, and then we have something else in lesser quantity. Okay, so that could be
Okay.
one of the
Hmm.
answers to your question, but we need to figure out what your mix is, Sunita. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what does this mean? What does this D, I, and SC mean? Okay, so look at this. So D, if the terms are a little, difficult for people to remember. So I like to use colors, and you will remember, what color you are. So you could be, a fiery red, which is the D. You could be sunshine yellow, which is the yellow, the I there, which is called influence. You could be, earthy green, which is steadiness. The style is called steadiness. Or you could be a cool blue, and the style is called compliance. Okay, so you could be any one of these. Okay, so you could be a fiery red, you could be sunshine yellow, you could be earthy green, or you could be a cool blue. What do all this mean? So what color are you? Look at this. You can look at this slide for the perspective here. Okay, so if you look at this, how does the red, look at this number. How would you read this number? This is the easiest way to look at it. So you see that the red leaves out all the smaller. So this is 13 million. Okay, so it's
Mm.
$13 million. So the red doesn't care about the chiller. Okay, the red is all about big picture vision. I'm a visionary. I'm a pioneer. Okay, so I look at big goals, big picture thinking. Yeah, so the red doesn't care about the chiller at all, the fiery red. Okay, now look at the yellow. The yellow doesn't care about any of the numbers. The yellow is just going to say this is a lot of money. Okay, it's the same number, but look at how each of them are going to react. Okay, so what is the sunshine yellow going to
Yeah.
say? Wow, this is amazing, this is a whole lot of money. Okay, yeah, so you're going to be animated with your expressions. Look at the green. Okay, look at the green. They're going to, represent exactly. They're going to tell you, up to the chiller, what is the exact number. Okay, so they are just going to follow instructions. Look at the number, reproduce it exactly the same way. And what does the blue do? Look at the blue. What's happened in the blue quadrant? The blue has
Only the
noticed.
small things
Yes,
in life.
yes, the blue notices only the 57
The
cents
small
which nobody has bothered to notice. Okay, so
Okay.
the blue is the person who's looking at the most finest details, the tiniest details, and they're telling you. So imagine if a blue having a conversation with a yellow. So the yellow is saying, "Wow, isn't that a whole lot of money?" And then the blue is saying, "Can you imagine this 57 cents? Yeah, yeah, look at that. Don't forget that." Yeah. So conversations of all these four people, if they were to meet, would be very, very different. Okay. So let's look at
Yes.
what's happening. Look at them. I've given you some examples here. Okay, the fiery red. Yeah. So what is the fiery red? Look at this. Everyone knows Donald Trump.
Mm.
Everyone knows Donald Trump, isn't it? What does Trump do? He loves
Yes, yes.
telling people what to do. Yeah. So this is the telling people what to do quadrant. Okay. The style is dominance. Remember. Okay. They like to be in control. They love power. They love authority. Okay. They love thinking of themselves like they are the best. Yeah. Okay. So and winning is very important for them. To be in control is very important. Power, authority, all of it is very important. Yeah. So Donald Trump, yeah, and they're very bad listeners, okay, but they're great instructors, they're great visionaries, they have their plans made out, so they will be the pioneers in moving something. They're very good at idea generation, yeah, they're very imaginative, so they create a lot of ideas, okay, but they cannot execute them, okay, they need a team to execute it. They're good leaders, they can tell you what to do, yeah, they'll have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, their life is sorted, they know where they're going, yeah, okay, so that is the fiery red. But like I said, when you are too much of a leader, when you're too much, so remember your strength can also be your weakness. Okay, when you overexert something, it can become your weakness. So if the red keeps on telling people what to do, what do you think people will feel? They say, will you stop? I have a mind of my own, I can think too. Yeah, so they can sometimes become aggressive, sometimes become very overpowering, all of that. Yeah, so that can become their weakness. What about the sunshine yellow? So there's Barack Obama there. I'm sure he was the most loved and the most charismatic leader ever. Yeah, everyone in the world admires Barack Obama. Okay, why do you think they admire him? Because look at that style, it's called influence, right? They are charismatic. Okay, they are charismatic not only in the way they look, his smile is very charismatic, they always have a smile. What is this called? They relate to people. Okay, now here these are also active people, they're outgoing people, but they relate to people, they like to get work done through people. They're not going to tell you what to do, but they will try to figure out what is your perspective, what do you want, and then give you accordingly. Yeah, so that is Barack Obama there. Okay. What do you think can be a weakness of the sunshine yellow? If they get too friendly, if they get too pleasant,
Yeah.
if they get, so that can become a weakness or a limitation there. Okay. So they should know. But
What?
again, sunshine yellows, great leaders, so like I said, the fiery red talks, but very bad listening. The eye talks and listens. So they're very balanced there, with that. Okay. So that's how it is. Now look at S, the earthy green. So we see Mahatma Gandhi. Now remember, on the left side are reserved, quiet people. Okay. Now Mahatma Gandhi, soft spoken, calm, quiet person, but with so the S also stands for stubbornness. Okay. The S stands for stubbornness of resolve. He was very, very, very stubborn with wanting independence for India and very stubborn with doing it his own way, which is through what were his two principles? Ahimsa and non-violence and truth, Satya and Ahimsa. So he wanted it
Ah,
Non-violence.
yes.
peacefully. only through the truth. He wanted everything to be true. He wanted to just use the non-violent way. He did not want a fight. So the S's are very stubborn about their values, about their principles. They care about family the most. Okay. Now, when I say values and principles, it does not have to be what the world sets. They have their own values and principles which they stick by. Okay. Now, the D, likes to talk. The S likes to listen. The S's are wonderful listeners. Okay, they're great listeners, great people for you to go and, great agony aunts. Yeah, they will hear you out. They'll be good moderators. Okay, um, because they are peaceful people. They don't like confrontation. Okay, so that's how it is. But remember, what is the negatives of an S? Sometimes you have to tell people what to do, right? You can't always be the follower. Hmm? Yeah. And Gandhiji still gets a lot of negative remarks for that, right? For the division of India and Pakistan. Okay. So, yes, he couldn't stand up to that confrontation. Yeah. So, that is also the limitation there. Sometimes you've got to tell people what to do or what you think. Okay. Now, the cool blue, this is the perfectionist here, the one who looks at the 57 cents, right? Okay. The person who's looking at the 57 cents here. So these people, if you give them a blackboard, have you heard this story? There was a teacher, who came into class and, he just put one black dot, okay, on the blackboard. And then he said, write an essay on what you see on the board. Okay. Then he said, I give you 10 minutes time, write down an essay on what you see on the board. And all the students looked very surprised because all that the teacher had done was to put, one black dot on the board. But then, the teacher got really serious. After 2 minutes, everyone's just looking at each other and talking. And then he said, what are you doing? Start writing. And then they said, okay, the teacher's serious. We need to write. And everyone started writing an essay. And you know what? After 10 minutes, when the teacher said, okay, stand up now, one by one, and, pointed out to people and asked them to read the essay, what do you think they wrote about? So most of them wrote about, this is a white
dot.
yeah, no, everyone, most of them wrote about the whiteboard. They said, this is a whiteboard, okay? This is used for teaching. There are all these benefits, okay? All of that. But then, you know what?
Okay.
There was one student in the class who got up and who said, there is one black dot here, okay? And he described that black dot. So what am I trying to tell you here? That the percentage of the cool blue people is only 17% in the world. Okay. So
Okay.
only 17% of the people are like this. They're perfectionists. They look at the tiny details. They love to look at what can be bettered. Okay. So if the sunshine yellow is very optimistic, the cool blue is very pessimistic. The glass is never full until it is really full for them. Okay. So we have all these people in the world. Okay. Now, why are we learning about the different kind of people? Because the objective is to learn how to network with all these different kind of people. First of all, to figure out who am I as a person? Where do I fall? How do I behave most of the time? Okay. Am I the person, criticizing others, looking at the tiny details? Am I never happy, with the bigger things done? Am I always saying it's not perfect until it's perfect? Okay, so what kind of a person I am I really optimistic and I'm saying it's okay, it's fine, am I relating to people, or am I a soft spoken, calm person, who likes to be a follower? Yeah, what kind of a person am I? Okay, so that's something that for you to think. And now you have to remember that all these people are out there in the world. Okay, so this is, everything which I just, spoke to you. How each style communicates. The D, what you have to remember whenever you talk to a D, what is in it for them? What's in it for them is very important. They're not going to listen to you if there is no what's in it for them. Okay? The I is going to ask you who else is doing it, because they want to know how many people does it impact. Okay, whatever I do, it should impact a lot of people. I should leave behind a name when I die. Yeah, I should, be able to share my knowledge. I should be able to do something for the community. That is the I. Okay, who else is involved? How many people are involved? That is the question. Okay, the I, is going to be worried about. This is their motivation for each one of them. Okay, the S is going to say how to do it, because they are followers, remember. So you have to give them clear instructions. This is how we will do it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, and if they like it, they're going to come to you. Okay, what is the cool blue going to ask you? Why they have to do it? Why they have to do it? Because they want to know what is the purpose. Okay, they are the subject matter experts, they are the gurus, they are going to be the perfectionists, they are the rocket scientists. So they're going to ask you, what is the purpose, why do you want to do this? Okay, and if they buy into the purpose, that's when they're going to talk to you, build a relationship with you, whatever it is, do business with you, whatever. Right? Okay, so these are the styles. How do you identify them? When you go meet people outside, look around the room, and you will see this is how they would network. So if you look at the D, remember I said that they believe they are powerful. They believe, they are authoritative people. They like to be, perceived, like leaders. So they're going to stay away and look at the group. Okay. And they would only come in on an invite. Okay, so you have to take time, take an appointment, see what is right, only then walk in and talk to them. Yeah, a D would not like to talk in a networking meet unless you are of equal whatever status, the way they perceive it. Okay, right? Look at the eye, look at the sunshine yellow. What are they doing here? How do they network? They're talking to a lot of people. Okay, they're talking to a lot of people. You see them moving around, saying hello, shaking hands, having fun, laughing. Yeah, so that's how the eye network. So you can look at the person and say, wow, this is an eye. Okay, if you look at the S, there will be somebody who is just stuck within their own circle of friends. Yeah, and they move along throughout the conference or throughout thing. They will only stay within that circle with that same one person or two persons or whatever. Yeah, so that is an S then. Okay, and what does a C do? They again will stick with the same group or the same circle of people that they know, but they will still try to, if you watch them, even if they're having lunch, they will stand a little aloof. Okay, even from that circle. Okay, because they believe that I am the guru. Okay, or I am the subject matter expert. I am knowledgeable. You understand this? Okay, so far, have you got all the styles before we can move further? Any questions so far?
No, I
So,
think I'm clear.
Okay,
Rinku, I had a question.
yeah,
So, can an individual be a mix of the four things which you have given, the
yes,
DISC?
yes,
So, can an individual be a mix of two or three?
yes, they can. Yeah, yes, absolutely
Hmm.
they can.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So how do they network? What is their role in networking? So when you talk to people, how do you identify them? Yeah, so you see, if you look at the red, the fiery red, okay, they are the ones who will be telling you, what, Sunita, Rinku, this is what I did, and this is how I planned out, this is my 5-year vision, and they would have already made decisions. You will see that they are the decision maker, and they will be conveying or telling you what their decisions are. Okay, and you can very well see that they feel that they are above you or above everybody, or that is their body language, that is the way they communicate. Okay, and how will you identify an eye? How do they fit in there? So you will see, like I said, like I showed you the circles, they are the relationship manager. Okay, so they are the what should I say, the fun person. They are the ones who get people together. Even if people are conflicting, they will try to get them together. Get them to bond with each other. Try to understand what their perspective is. So they're the relationship manager. Okay, and they're the ones who fill you with energy and enthusiasm. Every time you're down, they're there, to come and cheer you up or make you smile and motivate you and say, come on, you can do it. Okay, and remember, they're also very imaginative, so they also wonderful idea generators. Okay, so that's how they are. Then what is the S do? The steady green, the earthy green, they're the style steadiness. So the green is a trusted person. So remember, the green is also people oriented and friendly, but the green does not move around with as many people. The green is not active and outgoing. They're reserved, but to the close circle, Sunita, like you said, okay, you were mentioning,
Yes.
in that close
Yes.
circle, of trusted people within their family or within the close circle of their friends, they are the most trusted person. Okay, people would again go to them to share. Okay, they'll be a helper. They would help people. They would support people. They would be a great listener. Okay, but they do not want to be out there, or make an impact in the world or anything. They are happy if their family is happy. Okay, so that's how it is. Yeah, yeah, I mean, they're very content, self-satisfied people. Okay, they love stability, they love security, they don't want anything to rock their stability and security. Okay, and remember, like the eye, if you have to go and impact people and make a difference in the world, that's quite risk taking, right? So the S doesn't want to
Yes.
take that risk. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, the cool blue, the sea, okay, so they have a special role. They are subject matter experts, okay? They are the perfectionists. They are the quality controllers. They're not going to let you forget the 57 cents. They're going to ask you, where is that 57 cents? Okay? And if you look at your work lives, so they will always go back to rules. They will say, this is what the rule says. This is what the policy is. Okay? Now in the pandemic, why are you not wearing a mask? Don't you know these are the this is what the mask does? So they'll give you 10 reasons. So they're data banks. They go on facts. Okay, they will let's say they want to buy a phone. Each of them would buy it very differently. Okay, so the cool blue is the one which will look at many days of research. Okay, they're going to review every single review on the internet, okay, before they buy that phone. How do you think the D will buy the phone, the fiery red? How do you think they're going to buy a phone? They're just going to, they're not going to
They
buy.
will just decide.
Yeah, they've already
Huh?
decided they're going to buy the best. They're going to buy the best thing in the market,
Yeah,
the costliest, the most
Yes.
branded one. Because remember, they have to
Hmm.
appear authoritative and in control and in power. Okay.
correct.
Yes.
This is another way
Hmm.
how you can make out people. Okay, in a group. Okay. Now the I will also buy a branded thing, okay, because they are also influential and charismatic. But remember, they're going to think about how does it impact, who are the people that it impacts. If buying an expensive phone is going to impact my family's expenses, okay, then I might wait for it and buy it a little later, but I do want to buy it. Okay, you understand that? Okay, that's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the S is never going to buy that expensive phone. Okay, they're going to say it doesn't matter. Okay, I know what I want. If I want to make a call, this is enough. Okay, and I stick to
Hmm.
it. I don't care what the world thinks about me. Okay, the C will buy that expensive phone only because it has
After.
beautiful features. Yes, it's going.
Yes.
He or she is going to wait to see, is the camera really so beautiful, and if I really need that perfection, okay, only then am I going to buy that. So they buy it for the features. You understand the difference? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and this is how they're going to network. They're going to look at you. Okay, they're going to look at you. So the state will say, oh, sounds like a subject matter expert. Oh, I would love to share knowledge with this person. I would love to share, talk about what they have. What is their knowledge? What would they like to share with me? Yeah, the D is going to network only with powerful, influential people that they perceive. Yeah, are like that. So if you want to impress a D, you better dress up well. In branded clothes and all of that to make the first impressions matter to them. Okay, so
Hmm.
like this. Yeah, doesn't take much to influence an I, because an I is anyway a friendly, outgoing, positive, optimistic person. That's why we call them sunshine yellow. Okay, so that's good. There they will listen to you. Okay, and for the S, it's going to take a long time for you to get into their trusted group. So it has to be slowly. You have to take it one by one by one. The relationship has to build slowly. You have to give it time, to develop a relationship with a S or with a early green. Okay, you get this? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I already gave you all of this now. How to network with each style. Okay, when you talk to the fiery red, make sure that the person wins. If they are telling you, even if you see it's bright and sunny outside, and if the fiery red tells you, you know what, it's going to rain today, say, yeah, I think it's going to rain today. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you really want to be on their side, okay, you just have to let them, so enjoy the battle. Okay, enjoy the confrontation and just let them win. Okay, and the fiery red does not like display of emotions, because it makes display of emotion makes a person weak, isn't it? Okay, so
Yes.
they don't like sob stories. They don't like, because they get very uncomfortable with display of emotions. Remember, they love to be in control. Okay, So don't tell them emotional stories. Okay, you have to give them a vision. You have to give them a big picture. Okay, you have to give them a grandiose plan to impress them. Yeah, and then remember they like you to act fast and tell them what's in it for them. Okay, so don't waste time. Once you have the attention of the D, make sure that you are at it. Okay, so don't think, whatever kind of networking that you're doing, whether it's social, economical, whatever it is, if you know this person is a fiery red, get on with it quickly, move on with the next steps quickly. Okay, so if you've just met them, ask them out for coffee, go out, whatever it takes. Yeah, but just be, really quick with this next steps, otherwise they're going to get bored. Okay, and lose the touch with you, or not wanting to be in touch with you. Okay, with the I, be a friend with the sunshine yellow. Be a friend. Listen to their stories. So you will hear the sunshine yellow telling you about, what happened. This is my family, and this is my mother, and these are my children, and these are the people in my work. So they love to chat. They love to have fun. So give them time to speak. Hear their stories. Okay. And they love to tell you stories about people. Remember, they're all about people. Okay, and they're all about emotions. Okay, so and you should definitely move closer to a sunshine yellow. You can go hug them. Okay, you cannot hug a fiery red. You cannot hug a cool blue. So the top two quadrants, do not go hug them. Okay, and do not even put out your hand for a shake hand if they are not the first ones to put out their hands. Okay, right? With the ones below, with the I, you can definitely go and give them a warm hug. With the S, it takes some time for them to come to the thing of giving you a hug. But yes, they will be warm, they will be kind, they will be soft spoken, they will listen to everything that you're saying. But if you want to know what is on their mind, you will have to keep on connecting with them. Slowly, take it slowly. You will have to build trust with them. Okay, so and you have to secure that commitment from them little by little by little. Okay, so it's not going to happen quickly. Hmm? Right, and with the cool blue, what do? Talk about a lot of facts, a lot of research, talk about details, talk about how you love to be a perfectionist. Okay, all of those things. Right. Okay, so because they really like facts. Yeah, they really like facts. They like to get into actual data. They like to dig deep. Hmm? So they like all those things. Okay, so that is how you can network with each of those styles. And that brings me to the end of everything that I had to share for this class or this session. Now, can you a little exercise for all of you here, can you read these 4 sentences, and will you try to figure out which style is which?
Imagination has a great
Take
deal to
some
do
time
with
to
winning.
read through these 4 sentences.
We don't have time to do it, right? Then we have the first one would be a D. One sec. Let me approach is someone who can give
Okay,
direction.
everyone else try it too.
Can I try?
Yes, please, Richa. Yeah, go ahead.
That last one, winning isn't everything, is the only thing, is D.
Absolutely right.
Okay.
That's a fiery red.
And
Okay, wait. Let's give somebody else an opportunity. Sunita, what do you think?
sure, sure.
Take up another thing.
Uh, a coach is someone who can give correction without causing resentment. That
Yeah,
would be an I.
could be, but it's more of a S here, an earthy green. Okay, because they
Okay.
don't like confrontation. Okay, now the difference
Hmm.
between an I and a S, the green and the yellow, the I can tell you that, look, this is disappointing, this is your weakness, this is your limitation,
Okay.
you need to work on it.
Huh.
Okay.
Hmm.
So they will call a spade, but they will, what should I say? They can give you the bitter pill, wrapped in sweet chocolate. That's an I. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. And a S would not confront. Confront. That's what you're
No,
trying to say.
no, the S will not confront. The S will not confront. Okay. So they will,
Okay.
they
Okay.
will give you correction, but without causing any resentment. They're going to take their own time to figure out how to tell you what to do, and it will take some time for them. But that's how they are. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Hmm.
S and D is done. What do you think the other two are? Who wants to take a try there?
Uh, I would try.
Okay,
I can try. Imagination has a great deal to do with winning.
yeah,
Uh, that would be an I.
yes, absolutely right. because I said they are great idea generators. Okay,
Great idea
they
generators.
like to win too. Remember, I said that. Okay. However,
Hmm.
they believe in the power of ideas. They believe in hearing from everyone. They believe in people. Okay, so
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
important for them. Yeah. Okay, so Richa, you want to try the next one? Is it? If you don't have
Yeah, that
time to do that, yeah,
if you don't have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it over?
yeah,
I'm sure it must be that cold blue.
absolutely,
Cool blue. For the
absolutely,
cool blue. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, cool blue. Yeah.
The C, the C, C, the cool
The
blue. Yeah.
C, the cool
The
blue,
perfectionist, right?
the perfectionist.
Yes.
They're going to tell you if you tell them, look, the networking meet is only for 1 hour. Okay, this is all
Hmm.
the time that we have. Okay, and this is all the time that we have to get to know each other. Okay, they're going to tell you,
Hmm.
but we have to do this right. How do you think is? I need a lot of time to get to know you. You know,
Hmm.
so that's what they're going to tell you. And then every time you give them a task or an activity or something to do, they get
Hmm.
what I say. They're the people who can also get that compulsive obsessive disorder. So everything
Yes.
has to be in
OCD.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everything has to be in place. On their tables, you will see everything is structured. The pen has to be right there. The laptop has to be right there. Their cupboards will be beautifully organized. They know exactly where to pull that white shirt from. Okay, so yes, everything is in order. Okay, so those are the kind
Yes.
of people. If you look at the way they've dressed to the meet, you can make out a C. Everything is perfect. The socks is matching.
Hmm.
The shoes, the right kind of shirt, the right kind of tie, whatever. So that's how it is. So they love to do things right.
Hmm.
Okay, and they love to take the time to do it right. Okay, so that's how it is. I hope that you learned a little bit about yourselves, and you learned
Yes.
a little bit about your styles and who you are as people and what is important to you when you meet other people. And I also hope that you learn to identify other people's behavioral styles and how you can go approach them and talk to them, or what you have to do if you have to influence them, or be on what should I say, get their good books. Okay, if it really means a lot for you to influence them. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Rinku.
So, and hoping to for all of you to follow me on all my social media. Okay, so on Facebook, on Instagram, please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, and
All right.
you will keep seeing more of me and get to learn a lot more like this. Okay.
Yes.
And
Would
for
love
those
to do
of you
that.
who want to be a part of my Nakshatra tribe, like I mentioned in the beginning, okay,
Mhm.
please reach out to me and on any of the social media, or if you have my number personally, reach out to me and I
Mm-hmm.
will add you to the tribe. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so much. And oh, one more thing. And
Thank you.
for those of you who want to get a personalized assessment, I know Richa got one. Okay. So for those of you who
Yeah.
want to get a personalized assessment, reach out to me even for that. Okay.
Yep. Sure.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
all of you.
Thank you,
Learn
Rinku.
Thank you.
better and have a great evening. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.